Hello, my name is Kaya McTeague. My book is called A Blazing Paddle, and it's basically about a girl named Alexandra whose dream is to go to the Olympics in kayaking, but her dreams are crushed so suddenly by a series of horrible events, and she ends up leaving her hometown in Pianisty, Slovakia, and heading to America on a journey to start a new life and train on a new team. So, this is chapter 1. September 5th, 1936. 9 lanes, 9 girls, 500-meter time trial. We line up our kayaks together on the starting buoy, and I shift my head back and forth between the girls, making sure I am lined up correctly. I take a few deep breaths, knowing Coach is going to start the race soon. One by one, I dip my hands into the water and place them onto the paddle, making sure the grip is just right. I look to my left, acknowledging my competitor, Adriana. She is focused and looked fast in warm-up, which makes me nervous. I look back over to Coach, and he is grasping the blowhorn, ready to start the race. "Ready," he yells as I grip my paddle tight in my right hand. "Set." I lift my paddle and place it slightly in the water, anticipating when the horn is going to blow, and the second it does, we are all off. I dig my blade into the water and take 3 long, hard strokes, managing to get me up in front. I speed up the pace with 10 double strokes, quick and fast, and then start to feel the lactic acid burning in my stomach. Legs, 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 I think to myself. I start settling in, knowing I have a long 400 meters to go, and that I need to pace myself, but the next thing I know, I am losing my lead. Adriana is pulling ahead. I stare at her ponytail, flipping side to side as she quickly shifts her shoulders back and forth, catching the water with her blade. Frustrated, I shove my legs harder, accelerating the boat further, but it's not enough. I pump them over and over, left and right, but do not gain back the lead. We are at the 200-meter mark, and I am in third when my body starts to go weak. I keep my arms at a steady motion, but I can tell I am starting to lose the connection with the water. 100 meters left. Push now, I tell myself. I quickly pick up the stroke rate and try to maintain power. The lactic acid burns throughout my whole body, but exits as I continue to push through the pain. Legs, legs, legs. 20 meters, 10 meters, 5 meters. I give the last few strokes my all and launch my body through the finishing buoys, dropping my paddle to my waist, resting my arms. I look to my left to find Adriana has beaten me, along with one other girl who is just new this month. Her name is Elena. She is very small, not like usual European girls, but she is very fast, and unfortunately, she knows it all too well. After acknowledging them both, I slowly pick up my paddle and start to make my way to warm down, making sure all the acid is gone so I'm not sore in the morning. By the time I get to the dock, my arms feel like noodles. If I put any more weight on them, I'm going to collapse. I'm too tired to push myself to my feet, so I just pull myself up enough out of the boat to lay on the dock. My feet remain laying in the boat, just enough to hold it against the dock so it doesn't float away. Practice was hard today, really hard. I was getting my butt kicked by the other girls, which, to be honest, was not normal. I hated that feeling, losing. Just hearing it made me bitter. I worked so hard, harder than any of the other girls practiced, almost twice as much as they did, and they are just as fast as me, if not faster on some days. Today was one of those days. One of those days where no matter how hard I pushed my legs, or how quickly I got out on the start, they beat me to the finish. When I finally have enough energy to stand, I bring myself to my feet and lift the boat over one shoulder, tucking it onto the rack in the boathouse. When I overhear Elena complaining about practice, I could not help but butt in. "One time trial?" she complains. "What kind of coach only runs one time trial?" "He has a name," I added, frustrated. She turns around and gives me a nasty look, but before she could speak, I continued. "Claudio was on one of the top training teams in Russia. He was a part of the few who participated in the demonstration sports in the 1924 Olympic Games in Paris. He knows what he's doing. When you get that far in kayaking, you can critique other coaches. As of now, I suggest you keep your mouth shut." After that, she walked away knowing I was right. Claudia won a gold medal in the 1936 Olympics in Berlin for the 200-meter race. That was the first Olympics that included kayaking as a sport. After retiring, he ended up here in Slovakia coaching, and he is no different from how his coach was to him. To Claudia, kayaking is not a sport. It is a way of living, and you are either all in or all out. When it comes to training as kids, he does not let us forget that. After we all finished slipping our boats away, Claudia called us over for a team meeting about the upcoming race. It was a state qualifying race. If you place top 8 in your event, you get to compete at a national level. This year, I will only be entering 3 out of 5 girls, Claudia scowls at us in Slovakian. My stomach starts to ache with excitement. I need to be one of those girls. Now, none of those spots are set in stone, so if I were you, I wouldn't mess up. One mistake and you could lose your slot. After dismissing us, I gathered my bag and my paddle under the gazebo next to the boathouse. Alexandra. I turn around to find Claudia calling me over to him. I start to get nervous. Whenever Coach calls you over to him by yourself, it's never a good thing. As I walk up to him, my heart starts to beat faster and faster. I look at him again to check his face expression, and he is looking at me straight in the eye. I get within arm's distance, and suddenly he grabs me and pulls me by the ear toward him, where he asks, "What was that today?" I try to stay as calm as possible and hold in the tears, but I'm having a hard time. I was trying as hard as possible. Before I could respond, I feel his hand smack across my face. The sound of skin on skin reverberates across the lake. As my face slowly starts to turn back towards him, I feel a tear fall from my eye. He lifts his finger and points it close to my face. "Alexandra, shut up. You show up to practice every day, more than once a day. You get the most training out of all of these girls, yet you don't perform like it. Some days you are good, some days you are horrible. My athletes need to be good all the time. You are inconsistent and not focused enough. You may try as hard as you want, but you will never be a good kayaker. You are worthless, and I will not spend another minute wasting my time on someone that will not get anywhere in the boat career. From now on, you are on probation. If you continue to perform like you are 10, then you will be off this team. Do you understand?" I quickly nod my head, trying to hold in the surge of tears that are waiting to explode from my eyes. "Good," he replies. "Now get out of my face." I walk away, touching my hand to my cheek because it is still burning, and all I can think about are the voices in my head replaying, "You will never be a good kayaker. You are worthless. You will never be a good kayaker." Thank you. Any questions? Okay, question number 1. What made you choose this sport to be the main point of your book? I used to kayak and I loved the sport, so I knew that if I wrote a book about kayaking, I'd be able to write it in depth, and I knew that all the terminology and everything would be accurate. How long did this project take you? This project took us about 3 weeks, around there. What was your character inspired from? So when I actually went to Slovakia for a competition, I would watch the athletes get treated as harshly as Alexandra just did in the book when they weren't challenging their opponents enough. So the idea kind of came from there, and I just kind of liked the idea of a girl who wouldn't stop fighting for her dreams. So from there, I just kept adding on to the book. Thank you.